Michael, you're looking quizzical.
No, well, I'm just thinking about Americans. I teach a lot of Americans at the University of Melbourne, and I remember once telling a group of Americans about the Anzac tradition and introducing them to all of that, and this girl puts up her hand and she says, "How did the US feel about you guys helping us out in the First World War?" And I discovered something I didn't know I had, which was a little flame of Anzac that turned into a mighty and angry blaze in my Australian breast, and I said, "How do you mean?" And she said, "Was the US grateful for the help that you guys gave us in the First World War?" Now, I should tell you that this is the same girl who wrote me an essay on the subject of Australian Foundation myths. And she wrote, "The trouble for you Aussies is that you have no foundation myth. Not like when Christopher Columbus found Plymouth Rock for the British." Now you can see if you were marking that essay, you could miss that. So I do this rapid rewind and think, no, that's not right. That's not right. Christopher Columbus didn't find. So I write in the margin, "and threw all that tea in the ocean." The rest of the essay is just crap, basically. And when I'm handing the essay back, I say to this girl, "Mary Lou, I don't believe this is your best work. And as a university lecturer, I want your mark to reflect you at your very, very best." I believe this is the sort of bullshit that Americans understand and will respond to. So I say, why don't you go away and rewrite this essay so it really represents you at your very, very best. A day later, the essay's back, and it goes, "The trouble for you Aussies is you have no foundation myth. Not like when Christopher Columbus found Plymouth Rock for the British and threw all that tea in the ocean."
Imran, academia is a great source of mirth in your book, not least of all because in this aspiration to be British, you try and deny the Asian myth that you should be good at science. And in fact, you're most uncomfortable with that whole idea that because of your birth destiny, you should be good at science.
Well, I was uncomfortable with it, but I still complied. I didn't realise that, you could go and study English literature or something, and that it would be okay. I thought you had to go and study something you didn't enjoy, because it would be respectable and useful. And I was completely crap at it, basically, and it took me decades to actually start to do what I wanted to do.
And in fact, there's a great commonality between a Muslim boy or man in your position and Star Trek.
Absolutely, yes. There is, because no, this is
I really want to ask that question again.
I was going to say, obviously not to go where no man has, to boldly go where no man has gone before in your case.
This is completely logical, just let me through. So Muslims, we don't do all that stuff like the drinking and the disco dancing and all that stuff that's out there that's not respectable. So we're somewhat aloof and perhaps a bit dull. Well, so I recognized in Star Trek Mr. Spock. He always behaved logically, rationally. He didn't do that stuff either. But the humans around him did, and they were always making fun of him for being so logical. And I recognised in him, and of course he also studied science, he was a science officer, so he had that Asian aspect as well. So I recognised in him a kindred soul who was a little more aloof, more logical, more restrained, and amongst a greater body of essentially aliens or white people who behaved, not so respectably by drinking and dancing and stuff and dating.
And
If only.
you can actually do that, can't you? You can do the...
Oh, I can do that, yeah. Without, I can do it on both hands. Peace and long life.
Michael, you were wanting to join in then?
Oh, no, not really. No,
Okay. That's fine.
I'm just enjoying it. We could all do that. It's fantastic.
Great. Who else on the panel can do that?
No.
Oh. I'm with you, Denise. It's not a surprise that if you choose to marry a circus performer, you're going to have a great source of comedic material.
Yes.
I wasn't addressing that to you. But you can take it.
I thought I'd learnt that my wife was in the circus there for a second. I was like, was she in the circus? Maybe she was. She's very interesting and does a lot of things and doesn't talk much. Maybe she was... I should have asked her more questions.
Yes, well, we never actually married, John and I. We've been together 28 years and he does still propose. And no, but I'm just not sure yet.
You don't want to race into it.
No, you don't want to race into these things. That's what I keep. But yes, and in fact, as you were saying, Imran, John, in fact, was from a very well-to-do family, and very, very, they were people who admired academic achievement more than anything. And so he went off to study medicine and left to become a clown. And don't you worry, I've thrown that at him in arguments only like, you could have been a doctor. And because, there wasn't a lot of money in clowning. And there could be, but not. And the relationship, it's just out to this day. I'll get home tonight and on our veranda, I'll walk in, because I love a clear veranda. And it's just one of my things. I love a clear veranda. There'll be at least 5 pairs of stilts. There'll be all sorts of old pots and pans that will be used in a percussion band. You never know when they might come in handy. There'll be drums. There'll be all sorts of things. There'll be a bit of a foam. If we are driving along and there's bits of foam, for hard rubbish collection, in they go into the car. You never know. He loves a bit of foam, because you can use that for wrapping around stilts and things. Anyway, yes, so marrying a circus, well, I didn't marry him, but being with a circus performer, you'd think he's such a good person, and I do abuse him for that because being good doesn't pay financially. He's got a heart of gold, but God, poor. But that worked well actually, because it really encouraged me to go out and earn some money. Like, it did work well. So, look, yes.